Okay, so welcome. Today, Mercury is retrograde. What does that mean for you? Just some standard warnings that happen. I left a pause in there just so you could think about it. Stay with me till the end of the forecast, and I'm going to tell you exactly, well, I'm not going to tell you exactly. I'm going to tell you what it can mean for you and how you can actually do your best to make it through this period. All right. So let's get started, shall we? Welcome to daily-astrocat.com. It's your digest of all things astrology. Yes, all things astrology. Like what, Shane? Well, like shaking cameras. No, not shaking cameras. Like a number, an event, a bell, chimes. Yes, got all that stuff, right? We also have a good dose of your Mercury retrograde knowledge, which, let's face it, today is Saturday, March 15th, and the moon is in Libra all day long. Nice and balanced Libra, right? Right. Mercury's retrograde at 2:46 in the morning on the East Coast today. Now, what will this mean? Let's talk about this for a little bit because let's talk about the day, and then we'll get into Mercury. I told you I teased it for the end, and I mean it. I mean it. You know what I mean? Okay. Today's a day to revisit the dumb shit we may have said earlier. Yeah, there's some dumb stuff that we may say. If we're not careful, we may be saying this stuff today as well. You might. You just don't know, do you? Now, fortunately, I avoided that yesterday. Thank goodness, because it was a very different day, I think. And yeah. So let's just talk about. Look, you may have had some false starts in the last few weeks, okay? You may have had some things where you felt like, oh, this is going to change. Maybe something has changed. And if it does change, then that's something we're going to have to be very, very aware of, right? Now, clever mooncats out there, look, you got to look them over and see why they didn't quite work out. You're going to know this, right? If you've been here for a while, you know that this is going to happen and we wouldn't have done this. We know that our actions were kind of holding back a little bit. And we also know that because Mercury has been going to this retrograde, it doesn't happen like that. There's no switch that's turned on. It happens gradually. There's these things called shadow periods, which we're going to go into. Not today, but I can do that in a separate video. And there's also, where we're going to be revisiting, right? We revisit this and we have a chance to make things a little bit more right, especially in terms of communication, in terms of how we're thinking, and in terms of what kind of ideas we're having and what those ideas can actually spawn and engender, right? Very, very talkable. We may have talked too much. We may have said something too much. We may have not made our points very clearly. And now we get to go back over and put little fine points on it and cross our I's and dot our T's and all that neat stuff, right? Okay. Today's keyword is obvious. So it's obvious that Mercury is retrograde. It's obvious that there's some things that you need to know about Mercury retrograde, right? The color is orange sherbet, and the sun in Pisces is understanding, tender, and ready to retreat. So ready, right? Like, let's just wait until Mercury and Venus are not retrograde anymore. Let's just wait for that blossoming moment, right? It's almost like if spring were to come too early. We had 1 year here where it came in February, like almost in February, and all the fruit trees bloomed, peach trees and everything. Frost came, destroyed everything, and that crop was destroyed that year. The clever farmers out there actually took the opportunity. Now, here's where you can, this is a lesson for you, okay? The peach growers out there took the opportunity to radically prune their trees. Since they weren't going to get any crop this year, they'd prune them and they would do better the years in the following years. That's how you make do with this stuff. Nature has a way. These cycles have a way of helping us through whatever it is we're going through. And we have to make sure that we're aware enough of what the potentials are and what the pitfalls could possibly be and how to get over them, right? That's a very good point. Now, Jupiter in Gemini wants to tell everybody how we knew about it all along, right? Oh, yeah, we know about this stuff. Don't worry about it. Got this, right? Look, this is going to change. Whatever situation is presented and you think you know, it changes. Okay? And let's face it, Jupiter has not really been telling us the truth with Mercury, right? In Gemini. And now those lies are going to be under much more scrutiny because we're reviewing everything. Mercury's in that spot where it's like, oh, hold on there a second. I'm going backwards. We need to revisit this. Let's see what's going on. All right. Now, it's under scrutiny. Good luck explaining that to anybody, okay? Don't try to explain it. If you try to explain something, not going to work. Accept responsibility. I'll do better and move forward. Or dig deeper. Dig deeper and go into yourself. Because this is about personal transformation. This isn't about societal transformation. We can't do that. We don't have that power amongst ourselves, right? We don't have that individual power. Collectively, we can get the individuals to do that, but we can always do all that stuff. So let's talk about what else we got going on if we're trying to explain stuff. Words and spouses, no, they're not going to play nicely together today. Ideas, they're reformist at best. In other words, your ideas should be to be visiting old stuff again, and let's just do it, right? Don't try explaining motives either. Doesn't work. What we need to do, and what we have to do, is make our house nice instead. We need to, just do a little bit of tidying up, make everybody happy, right? And what's the big idea? Keep that to yourself. Now, let's explain. I told you I teased it. Mercury Retrograde. Okay, we used to have a standard thing where Stella would come on and go, no new purchases. No new contracts. In other words, big purchases. You can still buy like groceries and stuff like that. No big purchases, no big contracts. Tech items, if you buy them, if you're upgrading or anything like that, you have to be careful that you're just not doing it willy-nilly. Because even if you intended to do it before, this can mess things up. I bricked a computer during a Mercury retrograde thinking that, I intended to do this beforehand. Went ahead and did it. Nope, no good. Blew a motherboard, didn't bother replacing it. I haven't opened a computer since then, okay, because it just spooked me. I had built like 3 of them before, no problem. Didn't have an issue with anything. Tried to upgrade one of the ones I built, and it's still sitting up there gathering dust. Now, could I get another motherboard for it and perhaps try again? Yeah, I would, but that's like, I don't know. I since I did that, I've been using the other computer downstairs here. A much better experience. It just does things much better, and it's a more efficient use of my time, basically, because the other computer would just kind of waste my time because I'd have crashes and be going back and trying to redo stuff and find things. Now, do I have to get one of those rebuilt and going? Yeah, I do, but not this cycle, okay? I wanted to get a new microphone, and I didn't do that. I have the money for it. Got it sitting right there. I didn't do it. I wanted to get another stand. I wasn't quite sure how it would work out with the video because I'm still working on trying to get that video better. Now, the video is better. Got that, right? Was able to go back and do that. That was something I already did and my intention was set for it, right? Other Mercury retrograde things you need to watch out for. Communications, foggy at best. You're going to have to repeat yourself many times. Negotiations, contracts. Mercury is where the word mercantile comes from, right? So those transactions get fraught as well. We just need to be super, super careful about the things we buy. And chances are you're going to end up returning them or not being quite so satisfied with them. That's what Mercury retrograde is all about. Should you be afraid of it? No, you never should be afraid of it. Can you function during it? Yes, you can, but just know that it's going to be tough going. Now, how can we use that Mercury retrograde to our advantage? Well, we review and revise the things that we've written, the things that we do, the ways that we communicate. We go back and we look at what we've done, technologically even, right? Now, we can't go back and reinvent code or anything like that, but man, we can certainly go back and find some errors that we may have made or something that we could have done better. And just be able to pull that stuff forward. Now, don't go in there and changing everything because chances are if you do get into something like that, you will change something accidentally and you will spend hours trying to track that stuff down. You folks out there that know this stuff. As far as the general public out there, just be aware that things are going to take longer. And if you mess with them, they're going to mess back with you. All right, that's what I have for you. Our event for today is in 1972, The Godfather, which was based on the book by Mario Puzo, and was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, premieres in New York City. That was in 1972. On this date, and it won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1973. And in 1955, we have one Steve Lillywhite. He's a British record producer, pretty famous too. He's done some work with U2, Rolling Stones, and Fish. He's born in Engham, England. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Love each and every single one of you. To recap our words, today's keyword is obvious. Obviously, we're in Mercury Retrograde, and the color is orange sherbet. Thank you so much for listening. Today is a 4. Happy astrocatting.